Okay, I fixed it. There's no metronome this time. Welcome back to Voicing Valiant, the podcast made by the community for the community. If you haven't noticed yet, Chad's out sick, so I'm trying to fill in, even though I never do the intro. Ugh. But definitely, this week we have a special guest, Ray, or as you might know her, the cosplayer who has done the in real life Valla at a few of the games, and it was, god damn it, I thought I had it written down. What was the event you went to? What was the event? Anyway, here she is.
Hi! Hello! Thanks for having me. Super excited.
It's nice to have you here.
Ah!
As usual, we're going to start off with a little mini interview.
I'm ready for those cues.
Ready?
I get it. Little play on words.
Give me a break.
Quick, edit that out, quick. Okay, so first question, what got you into cosplay?
Oh my gosh, okay. So, as a kid, I've always been super into anything dealing with the arts, especially with costume design and set design, more so the costuming. Like, for example, I would always be in the drama classes in middle school or high school, and I'd always want to take over like the costume design and the set design just because as soon as the teacher gave me a prompt, I already had like this extravagant idea in my head. I'm like, nobody else knows what to do. I have to do this all by myself. So I've always been super into designing costumes for sets. And I was introduced to cosplay by one year I just randomly found this video. It was a cosplay music video by a YouTube channel called Sneaky Zebra. And it was San Diego Comic-Con, I think the 2013, and after watching that, I was completely blown away that people could just make costumes whenever they wanted and show them off at conventions just because they loved like a certain character or a TV show, a film, comic book. I just like I knew I needed to jump on and get started because that is just what I always love to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like, when you said 2013, I'm like, hey, I think that's when I made my first cosplay too.
Yeah. I think like I saw it in 2015, so that was like already 2 years old.
Damn.
Like, I'm 2 years behind. Like, I need to get on this now. And I actually ended up meeting Sneaky Zebra a couple years later, and they put me in one of their music videos.
Ooh.
I don't want to say which one because my costume was so bad.
So what I'm hearing is I have to go through every single one of those videos and find you.
I was Azula from The Last Airbender, and I just, it was completely rushed. I wanted to get something done in time, so I was up for like 3 days, like trying to modify this costume I had already previously bought. And so now, obviously, when I'm looking back on it, I'm like, it's so bad. Oh no. Like, that's the one that everybody's seeing now is my terrible, like, spray painted hair. It's all black.
Oh no. Oh no.
I know. And like the contacts, and then I made like this fire prop. But it did not look like fire at all, and I'm just like flailing it around.
It's a thought that counts, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to our next question. What got you into esports?
Okay, so actually Overwatch League is the first esports event I've really gotten into. Like, I grew up playing video games, and I knew that there were people who played video games for they played them professionally. It just like my mind never fully grasped how serious it was or how big of a deal it could be to some people. So obviously when Overwatch came out, I really got into it and wanted to be more involved with the community, so I followed Overwatch on Twitter. And then that's when like they announced the league, and I was just completely stunned, like what people can play Overwatch for a living and like, you know, really make a name for themselves. And now that I've discovered Overwatch League as a professional sport, I am slowly like realizing that people don't just do it for PC, they also do it on the console or they do tabletop games, which I think is absolutely crazy. But cool at the same time.
Yeah. Like branching off from that, what about Valiant made you a fan of them? Out of all the Overwatch League teams.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, so I watched the very first match of it was stage 1. So it was the San Francisco Shock versus the Valiant. And it's so hard to explain. I really don't know what happened. It's just like something just kind of clicked when I saw the Valiant team walk out and I saw that stadium light up green. It's like it's really hard to explain the feeling. I just had like an instant connection with the team and I really respected the players and the community. And the more I kept up with the Valiant and the more I got involved, I realized how close like the team members of the Valiant were with the community, which is just something you don't see every day, especially in, you know, anything professional. Sometimes you just see like the fan base will be completely severed off from like an actual production or just anything. So seeing like the Valiant and actually have strong ties with the fan base was pretty incredible. And the players are for the Valiant they're super kind, they're energetic, they're humble and respectful, and that's something that I personally recognized in them, and that's something that I would want to support in a team. And I found those same qualities like when I met Steve and Noah, Montana, and Sabrina, and they all have like this I don't know, they all have like this indescribable charm that like to me personally makes the Valiant successful and where it deserves to be today. So just the community and the bond that they have with the team really got me involved with the Valiant.
No, I completely understand with that because like that's part of the reason I like Valiant too. Is just like the community and the team itself are so intertwined, and it makes you feel at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really does. And I never really like my brother and I play Overwatch a lot and I never really had anybody else to connect with through the game except for him until I actually met my friend group through Overwatch. We all lived in different states and sometimes different countries. But that game led us all to meeting up at PAX South last year in person. That was the first time that we ever met each other after a year of being friends. So just like little stuff like that I noticed with the community and with the team members, it just like, this is the team I want to support, you know?
Yeah. Why did you decide to cosplay Valla?
Okay, so you know Anya
Yeah.
on Twitter? Okay, so I saw her comics being retweeted by the Valiant, and I instantly fell in love with like I don't know, just how she portrayed Valla like a person as like an embodiment of the community, and just like the way she wrote her, like Valla had like a little bit of wit to her, or not a little bit, she has a lot of wit to her. It's like she has those quick like snarky little tidbits, and but she also knows like when to bring her energy down and spread that love that the Valiant community is so well known for. And the more I kept like scrolling through Anya's sketches, like I really wanted to find a way to bring Valla to life into the stadium. And I knew that there like the stadium had the occasional cosplayer in the stand, which I thought was super unique. And I noticed that nobody had really made a costume before to like solely represent a team or an embodiment of a community. So as soon as like I saw the sketches and that little idea popped up in my mind, like, hey, if I'm going to the stadium, why not go in costume and make it Valla, you know?
Mm-hmm. And it turned out looking amazing.
Thank you. She's always being updated. Actually, I have her right behind me on a model, and I'm slowly adding more detail to her. But yeah, I love every time I've worn her, I've felt like that's the thing about cosplay is like every time you wear a character, you feel so confident and you feel like a completely different person. And that's me with Valla. She really brings out like that underlying confidence, I think. And I don't know, I get super carefree and then super happy when I am putting on like the helmet and the armor, and then you finally like put on the cape and you're like, yes, it's go time.
Capes look like so much fun. I want to wear one.
No capes.
Yeah, once you can feel it flowing in the wind, you're like, yeah, I got that whole Marvel look going on.
Vana for the next Marvel hero. You guys heard it here first.
Hit me up, Infinity Wars.
Okay. And do you have any funny stories about like what happened while you were making the cosplay, or maybe like one of the times you were wearing it?
Oh my, okay, I have a couple. So while I'm going to school, I'm still living at home, and my parents are trying to remodel the home. So every time, or every once in a while, like I'll have workers come into my room, and they'll just see like my huge craft table with like fabric everywhere, and then like when I was making the new armor for Valla, there was like cut out feathers everywhere and all over the floor, and I didn't know they were coming over. So I just kind of had to like sit there and explain exactly what I was doing, and they didn't get it at all. They're like, yeah, sure, cool for you, I guess. I'm like super red in the face, like having to explain, like, yeah, I make costumes. Yep. So that's like the occasional thing I have to do. One when I was wearing Valo is actually the most recent event. So Montana sent me an email earlier last month asking me if I could, help represent the Valiant as Valla at an esports party down in Beverly Hills with Lionsgate, which is one of the Valiant sponsors. And so part of my job was at the very beginning, I would help guests find where the esports party was, because there was a lot of events going on that day at the same hotel. So earlier, I had figured out that Noah was going, and I had never met Noah before up until then. And like I talked to him briefly on Twitter. He would always like retweet my stuff, and I don't know. So as soon as I like saw him, and Custa was right behind him, so I saw him and Custa in the lobby. I just had like a little moment, like, oh my gosh, is actually Noah and Custa? Because I don't know, personally, like a lot had led up to that. Because I really respect Noah and I respect the players. So we just kind of like had like a little moment where I was kind of like fanboy, like, oh my gosh, it's Noah, and then Noah was like, oh my gosh, it's Valla. So that was the thing that happened.
Can confirm that Noah is a fanboy, everybody. You heard it here first.
No, Noah's so chill. Like, he's so professional in the videos, but he's like super down to earth when you meet him in person. And I wish I had more time to talk to both him and Custa. I like, there was so much going on there, and I was only able to like get a couple words in. I couldn't talk to Custa at all. But Noah, I was able to chit chat with him a little bit. But I hope we get to catch up more, because I feel like there's still a lot more that we could talk about, you know?
Yeah, Noah's really cool. Like, I had that same moment when I was at the art gallery thing, because I was like,
really?
oh God, it's Noah. And I didn't want to walk up to him. I didn't want to do it. So, like, I was just walking around, like, going up to the second floor where the rest of the artwork was. I was like, I'm not going up to him. My brother was like, you're going up to him. Like, I'm not going up to him.
You're like, no.
And he walked up to me. I'm like, oh no.
You're like, it's the big boss.
So yeah, I completely feel you about the whole fanboy moment.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, so I want to get more funny stories to tell as Valla. I just have to go to more events.
Hey, just wear it to school one day.
Oh my gosh! See, we actually had like an art show, and one of my classmates, and she's a good friend of mine, she had a booth there, and she's like, "Why didn't you bring the league here?" She's like, "You could have been Valla. You could have brought like a Valiant booth over." I'm like, oh, I should have done that. You're right."
Damn it, Ray.
I know. I had my chance.
Okay, so moving on to this weekend Overwatch League. We're gonna try to do this like a lot faster than we did last week, because yeah, a lot happened. We don't really have to explain the whole if this team loses, this will help our chances and stuff, because this week we had the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had some pretty nice games. Wednesday, pretty standard. San Francisco Shock took down the Houston Outlaws, which closed off their chances of being in the playoffs.
They're so close.
Yeah. There wasn't really much on Thursday that would have affected the playoffs either. Friday, again, nothing much, because Excelsior was going to be in anyway. Yep. London really didn't have enough wins, and the map differential wouldn't matter enough. But it was pretty interesting to see how Dynasty took them to a map 5.
Yeah, Seoul's been like on a rocky path this stage, and it was kind of like seeing stage 2 Seoul Dynasty.
Yeah, like it's really weird, because they started off strong and now they're like kind of going down again. But I'm hoping they pick it back up, because they're a pretty good team.
Same. I'm kind of hoping the same thing with Spitfire, because they had a similar trend.
Yeah.
Like when they beat us, I was kind of shocked. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they're picking it back up.
Yeah. Like, oh, they're waking up again. But yeah, I really hope Seoul does well in stage 4. I hope a lot of the teams do well that weren't doing so well in stage 3.
I'm hoping Dragons get their first win.
I know, they were so close with Philly.
I know. I was so mad. And like, but they took a map from Excelsior, and they took a map from Spitfire this past week, which is really, really good on them.
Yeah, they're able to take maps, because didn't they take one off of Boston too?
I believe so.
Yeah, because that's crazy for a team that has been undefeated, and for just Shanghai with their track record, just able to just take one from them.
What's really interesting I've always found it interesting about Dragons is they can't win, but they almost always come out with at least one map. While other teams will have these long streaks of 4-0s, after the initial start of the Dragons, they have had such a good record of at least getting one map every game.
Yeah, it's just their win is so close. I can feel it. And just they get closer and closer. And if that battle between Shanghai and Philly wasn't getting you hyped up enough for that win, I'm thinking about what the next match is going to be like when they actually do win.
I know, I think it was Geguri who said it, that sometimes she can actually hear the crowd, even though those headphones are supposed to be like major sound canceling. Because that's how hyped the crowd is.
It's insane. It's like probably as big as the Battle of LA.
Yeah. It was pretty cool week with the Shanghai Dragons took a map off them, and then Valiant taking at least one map away from Finney opened it up for the Gladiators to come in. I know Valiant had it pretty much 100% in as long as they took one map off of Boston Uprising, because San Francisco Shock closed it out for Houston Outlaws.
Yeah, so we just needed the one map win. We got it on Volskaya, I believe. Yes? Yeah.
I think so. And then, like, we actually didn't really need the win against Fusion because it was already 100% in. We just needed to take one map away from them to net Gladiators in.
Yeah.
But we won it anyway. Nothing much.
We just wanted to help out,
we wanted to help out the Gladiators. Like, we wanted to have a second Battle of LA, but no, Boston Uprising had to decide that Gladiators is going to go up against them.
Yeah, seriously. Thanks for taking it away, Boston. Really appreciate it. I was tweeting about that too. It's just like, can you imagine if it was a Battle of LA, but for the stage 3 crown on top of the LA crown?
Yeah, that would have been
the hype is.
Oh my god, that would have been amazing. That would have been so good.
Yeah, because the hype is already so huge for LA. So just adding like that little extra something on top of it.
Yeah, and like I know that the stage finals like was sold out a while ago, so it wouldn't have just been the NA fans there like it is for the Battle of NA. So like I wonder if it would have been as hype because you're gonna have some like Boston fans and the New York fans because probably like a bunch of New York fans guessed that they would be in the finals anyway and bought the tickets ahead of time and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So those
because like I think you could tell like who's gonna go about halfway if depending on the map wins. Like for Valiant, we were number 1 for a little bit, and so
because of the map differentials and the like. I think we started off with a 5 win streak. So
yeah, we did.
Yeah, so it was on top for a really long time.
Yeah, so it's always so hard like predicting who's gonna go in, and not until like after it's already sold out.
Yeah. Playoffs was pretty interesting. Gladiators were stomped by Boston. Then Valiant was stopped by Excelsior.
Yeah.
But, like, it hurt, but I kind of was expecting something similar. They hadn't had a chance to play against Excelsior in the actual on stage. I know they had been scrimming together, but they hadn't had something on stage. So that led to it being Boston's against Excelsior for the final. And then Excelsior finally ended Boston's win streak.
And that's gotta hurt. Like your first loss is the championships.
Hey, at least they still got the $25,000.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, Boston works super hard.
It probably didn't hurt that much.
No. Like they're the first team to go undefeated into the playoffs ever. I don't know, everybody works super hard for their position in the playoffs.
And they definitely all deserved to be there.
I'm glad the Gladiators went too, just because they've really stepped up their game. And we did too for as far as stage 2 went. And just seeing like all the progress that's being made, I'm like, yeah, you go.
And I proud. What really gets me is that Coach Moon had to go back to Korea, but the Valiant still like kept pushing forward, and they managed to make it to playoffs. I was really sad to find out that Moon wasn't gonna be here because I know that was a big part of Valiant, like picking themselves back up.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
But it shows that like whatever coaching he's done has stuck with them.
And that's like the most important thing to take away from like any coach is like, is their information sticking with you? Does it like resonate with you?
Because like if moving on to like Valiant specifically this week.
Oh, you guys aren't ready for these fancy stats.
Nah, they're not too fancy. I was actually this entire week for the entire week of the Overwatch games. I was actually out of the house. I was with my best friend in Vegas, so I didn't really get a chance to watch the games live. So I was like rewatching all the VODs and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, what is going on? Like the rewatching, was it a Boston and Valiant game? Like,
the map 5 always gets my heart going.
I was like, it was so close to a reverse sweep. It could have happened. Like when the sweep started on Nepal, and man, they really had nothing to counter Ginity's Farah. Because when he was on Farah, he didn't die once.
No, he
Like,
was uncontested the whole match.
and then Custa, who, when he was on Mercy is a high priority target. All the supports are high priority targets. And he still got 6 resurrections off, and he only died once.
Oh my god.
Like,
that's crazy.
He got 6 of them off. Resurrects was the easiest time to kill a Mercy, and still he got 6 of them off.
Oh my gosh.
So good. It was.
Could I get a Mercy VOD, please, of hosted by Custa of how to be the best Mercy in the league?
VOD reviews with Custa, please. And thank you.
I am operating at peak performance levels.
And then, like, the reverse sweep was pretty strong with Route 66, especially on that point B where they were basically spawn camping them. Like, they were so pushed back, and they were just having free reign, just pushing and pushing.
It was insane. Like, everybody's like, all right, okay, first couple of maps we're down, but we're the Valiants. We can do overtime. We can do that full hold. We can reverse sweep it if we want. We're going to make that comeback. And it was really nice seeing just, giving Boston a taste of their own medicine towards the end.
It's like, on Route 66, Bunny had 27 kills to only 3 deaths.
Yeah, that's insane.
And then Fate had 28 to 6. Like, all of them they were really good at not dying and staying alive, which is something like Valiant, like Bunny specifically is very good at it, but Valiant in general just so good at it.
Didn't have Space have like 46 limbs and 5 deaths? I think I saw.
I think so. It was if it was not that, it was the map before. Because Space, just I always joke around that he's a baby diva main, because if he gets demeched, he gets right back in mech. He is so good at staying alive in that baby diva, getting those hits on the enemy so he can get his ore charge up and just remech. And he gets so many kills as baby diva too.
He's insane. I don't know how he does it. Like, you're a little squishy diva, but you're still able to dominate the game.
Like, 150 health, you are an easy one shot from a widow. Like, damage boosted body shot, fully charged widow would kill him. Doesn't even need the headshot. But he still is out there and getting remexed. I'm really hoping that they get those stats page up, cause I want to see the stats of how many mechs he's called.
Yeah, just throughout just one map.
Like, even the D suits with the self destructs to remech, like he's so good at it. I love his diva so much. I'm so glad he's 18. So glad he can play again.
Finally.
Yeah, that last map, they ended up losing it, but it was still like they took it all the way. That was the one game I actually got to see live, because I had just gotten home.
Was it?
Yeah, and not live as in like on the phone, because I was out in Vegas, and I'm like, oh wait, the game's on. Like, can I still catch some of it? I think I was in the middle of making dinner with my best friend, and I was like putting it up on my phone. And, like, she has no idea what Overwatch is. She doesn't play video games much.
Oh, gosh.
Like, the most she plays is Mario Kart. That's what we do.
So trying to explain it to her?
So I just, like, have the phone there. And it's the map 3 of map 5. And I'm just like, yes, do it. Yes. And she's just, like, kind of nooking. And at the same time, she's, like, getting invested in it. She has no idea. She has no idea what's going on, but she's still like watching, like, oh.
See, now the next step is to actually get her to the stadium.
Maybe I'll see if I can actually do that.
We have a potential Valiant fan.
It's like she has no idea what Overwatch is, but I'll drag her there anyway. Hey, that's how good that game was. That this person who knows nothing about this game probably doesn't even know the name of it. It's never heard about it before. Got like interested.
Yeah. And that's like the thing with Overwatch too. It's starting to become, I don't want to say like mainstream, but it's definitely starting to open up more eyes. Because I think I was talking with somebody at the Lionsgate event, and they told me that, over 44 million people are playing this game.
It's like one of the most popular games. One, and like if you check on Twitch, for a while it's like the number one game, but as usual, it like drops down, and I think League took over, and then Fortnite took over, but it's always one of the top games being played.
Yeah. And then you have the League that is just like no other.
Yeah. Valiant games are just so good to watch. And like the Valiant versus Philny game, that was the game where I had just come home and I had taken like a 2-hour nap. I wake up and the first map is done. I'm like, do I watch or do I go back to sleep? I'll watch. So I grab my headphones. I'm like watching it on my phone because I don't have the energy to get up and get my laptop. I was like, oh wait, I should join the viewing party on Discord. I join it. I'm like, hey guys, I'm back. I'm like, hey Bookworm. So it's the viewing party is always so nice, so welcoming. I love it. Like,
highly recommend.
And then like, it was just so good to watch. Like that one we won, but still had to be taken to map 5.
Yeah, it's not a Valiant game unless it's a map 5.
Hey, it's probably an LA team thing because Gladiators had that streak of map 5s on the other stage.
They did.
I think it was Hydration. It was like, I never want to see another map 5 again.
Sorry. Sorry, Hydration. You're part of the LA group now.
Yeah, it was a great game. Volskaya and like Bunny always seems to pop off on Volskaya. He pops off in general, but I'm just like remembering like a few games ago where he got like an amazing stick 2 or 3 kill on there. And like this time he got like 28 kills to 5 deaths. Like,
yeah.
You know, there was always a joke that Valiant's bad at 2 CP. Like in the viewing party, whenever Valiant like gets steamrolled on the first push, so like, yeah, guys, don't worry, it's 2 CP. We got it's 2 CP. We know.
I'll see that in the chat sometimes on Discord. They're like, "No, the game's over. Why are we losing?" Like, guys, don't worry, we got it.
It's 2 CP.
Even if we lose, we still gave them a run for their money.
Yeah, like as long as Valiant gets both points at least once, it's a good game for Valiant.
Have faith in the team. Trust Coach Moon.
Yeah, and that one's one of the ones they won. So like, we did good on 2 CP for one. No, a few episodes ago, Chad and I were like making our predictions for next week, and we're like, oh, they have Volskaya. It's probably gonna be a draw because it's draw Sky, something like that, and like, then they like point out a win on Volskaya. So I'm like, oh wait, no, never mind.
When you thought. The Valiant will almost always prove you wrong. When you can't really make predictions with maps because they're 99.9% gonna totally, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but
they pull stuff out of nowhere.
Yeah, there you go. That's the word I'm looking for.
Well, welcome to podcasting where we forget what English is.
I just started rambling. I'm like, oh, I don't know where I'm going with that one.
But yeah, like off that tangent and back to the game. Like on Nepal, Agilities has amazing flexibility. He was on Zarya for one of the maps of Nepal, and 5 of his 7 kills were high energy kills. It's just like, oh, it's so good to have a high energy Zarya. So much fun. And he didn't die once at Zarya. So he was keeping that energy there.
That does so much damage.
Soon was like showing off his Tracer Guard at 9 kills, no deaths. Like, there he is. Soon as Tracer is what he's known for, and he was popping off. Soon. God, it's so, like, I keep having people being like, why are they booing Soon? Like, no.
No.
They're cheering for him. That's how they cheer. It's Soon.
I promise you. It's not what you think.
So I've had so many people like, oh, that's so mean. They're booing for him when the camera was on him. Like, no, it's a cheer.
It's a good thing. Happy positive thoughts.
Like, I didn't actually get to watch on of Valiant against Excelsior because I was on Sunday. And my family had made plans to go see the new Avengers movie.
Yeah.
So I'm at the dinner. I'm like at the table eating lunch. I have the game up. My brother's next to me. We're watching it, and I'm quickly eating a taco that my mom brought back from this one thing my cousin was doing. Like, yeah, unos tacos, cómetenos. And I'm like, I'm just like kind of stuffing them down my mouth, just trying to finish it before we had to leave. And I was just like keeping tabs on the game. But then when we got into the theater, I had to turn off my phone and stuff.
No.
I come out and I see the score. I'm like, oh, no.
I know. But I'm happy that Soon got the first pick off on Pine in the Widow battle.
Definitely.
Yeah. That was something that it was Soon versus Pine is what a lot of people were looking forward to. I know like Puckett was talking about it previously. Like they were talking about the Valiant going to the playoffs. He's like, Soon versus Puckett, I can watch that all day. Or Soon versus Pine. Okay, I would actually pay to see Soon versus Puckett. But Soon versus Pine, we finally got to see it, and it lived up to the hype for sure.
There's like, Soon is such a good hit scan. Like, he's known for his tracer, but he's such a good hit scan. And sometimes he can be a bit inconsistent on Widow. His McCree is phenomenal. But like, when he's in the game, when he's focused, he can pop off, and it's so good. So good.
That's exactly what he did on Junkertown versus New York. He just was popping off.
It would have been nice if they could have at least gotten one map, but because like they were doing very, very well on Junkertown. They just like pushed through the first 2 points very, very quickly. They were stopped at the last one, but it's Junkertown. Everybody gets stopped at the end.
Yeah.
And like I was so sure they were going to be able to hold it, and they were going to at least take Junkertown. But
I know
we
we went down the same way the Gladiators went down on that map.
Damn it!
It was the last point.
It's the NA curse. NA curse.
Yeah, no, we had the same score as the Gladiators. I think.
We did.
Yeah.
Hey, but there's always next stage, because like starting off next stage, Valiant's going up against Seoul Dynasty on Wednesday, the 16th. Yeah, 16th.
Yes.
And Valiant's done pretty well against Dynasty. I believe we're 2-1 against them.
Yes, I think we 4-0 them the past 2 games we played against them.
So we've shown some good play. There is the change in the meta going though. So
what's Brigitte now? Oh no!
What I'm hoping that at the very least her nerf comes in for the Overwatch League. That her shield bash was made slightly smaller, and her rally was changed from 150 to 100 armor given. But even then, that's gonna. It's I have not played comp just because I want to avoid her until all of her nerfs come in.
Oh yeah, it's annoying right now. Like, I've played a couple matches.
I'll watch my friends and I just see them being booped around and going everywhere. And like, it's nice to see Ryan back in the meta.
Yeah.
Because I know that Numnoct is known for his Ryan. I'm like, I can hope that this means that he'll be put in.
Yeah. You know who's also been playing around with the new meta? Verbo.
Oh, I've seen he has his like Brigitte Oni account right now.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot of Brigitte. I'm like, are we gonna see Verbo and Brigitte? Because yes, please.
No, it's gonna be very interesting to see all that. Yeah. And then the second game the second game that week is going to be Valiant against Dragons, and man, I want to see Dragons win, but not against the Valiant.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Can you guys like hold off on your win until after we play?
Yeah. You guys go against the fuel. Like Dragons start off on the fuel on Wednesday, so take your win against the fuel.
Yep.
And then we don't have to feel bad about Valiant like taking the win from you guys.
I know, like, can we adopt Gregory, please?
Like, oh god, no, this whole team is so good, but it's just they haven't developed like the rest of the league. Like I think the add-ons came way too late. All the players they've added
Yeah.
are so good, and the coordination has gotten a lot better. But it was just like a 0-8, and all the rest of the teams have improved, and they have started to improve. Just a 0-8.
Yeah, because like all the other teams, or the majority of them, have already found like what works best for them as far as like the players and strats. But Shanghai is still like they almost have it figured out. I feel like,
Yeah.
but again, they're late to the party.
Yeah, I'm just like get the win against Fuel, so we can get the win against them, and we don't have to feel bad. So,
Yeah.
what are your predictions for Valiant against Dynasty?
Okay, so Dynasty just 4-0'd Houston, which wasn't really, nobody really expected that. I don't. I still think Valiant's gonna come out on top just because we've been pretty consistent with them. But as far as like, it'll have to depend on what the maps are and with the whole new meta, because Hanzo's abilities are coming in too for this new meta,
Let
right?
me see if I can. The maps for that game are going to be Blizzard World, and that's going to be the updated Blizzard World with the changed point on point.
Okay.
The second point.
Mm-hmm.
Lunar Colony, 2 CP. Ugh.
Horizon.
I can't wait until Horizon gets that update because it looks so good.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
I feel like it's going to be very good because of the change in how you get to the high ground, to the no ground, the no room change on the bottom. I think it's going to be very, very good. And aesthetically, I feel like it fits its story a lot better.
A lot better. It's not just gray walls anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And with just like a little bit of plants.
Because like it's supposed to be that the gorillas kind of took over and killed the scientists by blowing them into space. So very morbid, but that's the story of what happened.
Yeah, that's
so
I
feel like the map should reflect that, and I'm really glad that it's going to reflect that from now on.
Yeah. Have you seen like all the paw prints on the or hand prints?
Yeah, it looks really cool. Yeah, I'm glad. Like it'd be nice if that would be in for the league, but I know it's not going to be done in time.
No. But I do think Valiant is going to win against Seoul Dynasty. Yeah. But we'll just have to see what happens with the meta.
It's also Nijang Tower, which Valiant's done pretty. Valiant in general does good in control. So
yes.
And then it's going to be Gibraltar, which we haven't seen in a while.
I think that's been like since stage 1, right?
I
stage
think
1 or
so.
2. Wow, okay. All right. Hey, Gibraltar, how are you?
Because it wasn't in this last map rotation, and I honestly cannot remember the last time Valiant played it. So even when it was in the last rotation, Valiant barely got to play it. So that's going to be interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I'm with you that I feel like Valiant's going to take it, but I'm thinking maybe like 3-2.
Yeah, it might be close.
Yeah. It's a different meta.
Because we don't know.
Yeah, Blizzard World's slightly changed. We got Gibraltar coming in after so long of not being there. Lunar Colony's back in because I believe they were not in this last rotation, or if they were, Valiant didn't play it often.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be pretty interesting. And then, what are your predictions against Dragons?
I think we know what the prediction is.
I mean,
I feel really bad, but we're gonna 4-0 them.
Yeah, probably. But like, what's cool is King's Row is coming back into the rotation, and King's Row is known to be a very good map for like
I love King's Row.
Reinhardt and Zarya combos. I'm not sure how well it's gonna mesh with the new meta, but
Brigitta's insane.
Yeah,
on King's Row.
So that's gonna be pretty interesting because I know that Giguri has played quite a bit of Brigitta, and she loves her, and she's also amazing at Zarya.
Yeah.
Like Gaguri's been known for her Zarya. It's also like it's also pretty good for Widow on that map if you get surprisingly like if you get the right high points, it can be very good. And I believe it's Auto the hit scan that's very good.
Yes. So Auto versus Soon.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see. Yeah,
because Auto also plays Genji, right?
Yes.
So we could see Auto Genji versus Agility's Genji.
That's gonna be nice to see because it's also like a good because of the choke point. It's also good for spam. So which is why Zarya is good, but also a Genji to deflect the spam would be nice. Like It's gonna be interesting to see what goes on there.
Yeah, sorry, we gotta slay the dragon again.
Yeah. I feel it's gonna be the 4-0, maybe the 3-1. I'm kind of hoping it's the 3-1, even though I want Valiant to have the map differential thing, but I want dragons to get maps. I want them to do well. Like if they take it to a map 5, I would not be disappointed in Valiant because it'll be nice to see how much the dragons have improved.
Yeah, I'm ready for that Shanghai comeback story.
Yeah. Like, there is going to be no shame in losing to the dragons because that's going to be like just they have improved that much.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I feel it's going to be like at least Valiant gets the game against dragons out early, so I don't have to feel like guilty later on in the series.
I'm like, this is just practice, you guys.
Yeah,
this is practice for when you guys take on Soul Dynasty and anybody else, so we're just gonna scrim with you a little bit. But the points actually matter.
Like upcoming events for Valiant.
Yeah.
Let's see. My thing isn't okay. Now it's open. We got the Girls in Gaming Summit. That's gonna be the 19th. I was hoping to go, but apparently it's sold out. I'm gonna have to message Steve about that later. I'm hoping I can go.
Come through, Steve.
You said you were planning to go, right?
As of right now, yes. I'm not sure how much I can talk about it though, since not a whole lot has been planned. But right now, I am expecting to go to the Girls Gaming Summit.
Yeah, and then there's the Pride Party all the way in June on the 10th. Yeah. And I realized that we kind of forgot to talk about the Valiant videos. I'm going to blame this on Chad not being here to remind us, but last week I had to remind him about the Valiant events. So I guess this is like karma or something. I don't know.
Come on, Chad.
So yeah, I didn't get to watch the latest episode that they had of Becoming Valiant. But you said you did, right?
Yes. I don't remember the name. I've only I just watched it right before
and
we started. Yeah, I just started I finished it right before we started the podcast, so I don't remember their names, but it's a married couple who works for the Valiant, and it just goes over, the video talks about like how they met, like the wife met her husband at a freshman dance class, and she actually fell and broke her ankle. So the guy or future husband messages her saying, "Oh, can I come over and we could just hang out since you broke your ankle?" And they've just been together ever since and got married, and now they're working for the Valiant together.
Yeah. They're a part of the Valiant Street team, so they do like help organize some of the events and
like photo booths and making signs. And they talk about how they play Overwatch together all the time and how they will only play characters that complement each other so they can still work together even though they're playing with 4 other people.
And then another video that came out this week is representing Red 9. I was not able to watch that one either. Like I mentioned earlier, I was not home for a good portion of this week, and I was like, "Oh, wait, what do I have to get ready? What do I have to get ready?"
I did watch that one too, though. Yeah. So it was a party for the LGBTQ plus community, and it was just introducing people, or it was showing people that if you're in the I can't speak today. LGBTQ community, you can still be a part of esports. It's a very welcoming and loving and safe environment, and there's no judgment at all that you would typically get from random people. So it's just showing that the Valiant is a safe place where there's no judgment, and we're just all here to have fun and be a team and a community.
That's something I really like about Valiant. Because I'm pretty open, like online. I can't be too open in person because of, personal reasons. But I'm pretty open about the fact that I like girls. So every time like I'm in a viewing party, sometimes I'll be like, Mercy, marry me, please. And I think one of the first viewing parties I was ever in, a girl, I do not remember who she was, but she was like, I'm gay, but I would marry any of the Valiant players. And like, that is such a mood. Like that really said it. That said it. Like and nobody was like, okay. Like everybody was just like, yeah, agreeing. Like it was so nice. Like
Most handsome team, 10 out of 10.
it really is the most handsome team. Like I can be on like, his samba play makes me so gay. I can be as open as I want with the Valiant community. And I don't have to feel scared. I don't have to feel like someone's gonna try to tell me something, attack me in any way. Like I don't have to deal with that with Valiant.
Yeah, and that's something like representing Redline was about too, was just doing exactly what you just explained right there, where you could be as open as you want and nobody's gonna attack you for it.
And then the last video that was released was nicely titled "Back from In and Out: Agilities in 90 Seconds."
He's walking out with all this In and Out gear.
He looked so awkward. I remember him mentioning on one of his streams that he feels very awkward with like interviews and stuff. So I'm like,
Oh no.
He must have felt so awkward there.
Oh no, poor Brady.
But I like that they're kind of embracing the joke and like they're just kind of running with it. It's
yeah, why not?
Yeah. And it was pretty funny video. Just, giving us a little insight on.
I like the 90-second videos though, because it gives us even more insight on the players.
Yeah.
And like who they are,
You get these funny little things like him talking about how he got into gaming because his mom played Crash Bandicoot. Like, no, things like that. It's nice to learn these things about them. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
It brings you closer.
Because you feel more of a personal connection.
It's like it's very easy to put somebody on a pedestal and forget they're an actual person. When they are like a pro player or they are a celebrity, all this stuff. And these little videos like remind you like, no, this is an actual person. This is somebody who exists in real life.
Yeah. It's somebody who's working, tap my desk. It's someone who's working, just like you for their goals and their dreams. And, they have to do everyday things just like how you would. It's not like they step on the stage and then disappear all of a sudden, and then they only come back when it's time to play the game again.
So I believe that's the end of it, because forgetting to discuss the videos. I'm going to blame that on chat not being here.
Quick editor's note before we got on to the rest of VV Talk. This is Zaza, the editor of Voicing Valiant, and I'm here to let you know that between when the podcast was recorded and right now, Blizzard announced that they're teaming up with the Breast Cancer Research Foundation to release a special limited time only Mercy skin available from the 8th to the 21st of May, as well as pink Mercy shirts available on the Blizzard Gear store. All the proceeds of this are going to be going to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. There will also be charity streams running each and every day up until the 21st that will provide viewers with opportunities to unlock 4 special sprays and a player icon. This is a really great cause. I really commend Blizzard for doing this, and I just wanted everyone to know that it was going on, because I know it's going to be about a week until the actual cast is going to be able to talk about it. Anyway, now back to your valiantly scheduled podcast.
So, Nick, I guess that moves us on to our open mic section. I did not see anything on Twitter this week, but we were asked on the Discord to maybe talk a bit about how the new comp season, the new patches, all this stuff is going to affect and what's going on.
Okay. So, like, starting out with the characters then?
Yeah, like we covered it a bit in when we were talking about how Valiant's gonna do the next stage. But yes, Brigitta's coming in. She is now in comp.
Yes. Oh no. Chef, what have you done?
Like it's nice to have a change in meta, but her change in meta is just a little.
She's so hard. Okay.
No.
So, I mostly main support. I can swap the DPS if I need to. So when I'm on support, I am main healer, Mercy, and Moira. I can only evade her as Moira, but only for so long. It's just, I don't... When she ults, she kind of speeds up a little bit, and she has so much health. She has 400 health by the time she's done with her ult, or maybe a little bit over 400. So that's like permanent. Same thing with her team. She just adds on armor that's permanent after her ult, which makes it even harder to defend a point because they just rush in and her flail just kind of ruins the backline. Yeah. I don't know. I really hope her nerf comes in because she's so difficult.
There was this one streamer that I talk to sometimes. He's really cool. He does a lot of videos on like, oh, this is how you. Here's some tips on this hero. His name's Karkyu. No, I guess shameless plug for him because he's really cool. He is very good at like analyzing the heroes, coming up with tips in them. He usually has a guest with him who helps him out with the tips a bit. And he has some thoughts about Brigitte. And one of the things he pointed out was that what most will do is that the ult before the fight even begins. So that way the armor stacks up and everybody has 150 added armor.
Yep.
So what he was...
That's my comp game yesterday.
He was saying that his biggest issue is that because of this rally before the team starts and stuff, whichever Brigitte gets her ult first has the advantage for the rest of the game, like the entirety of the game. Because once she builds up that rally and uses it, she can gain her ult again while her team still has that armor.
Yeah, the amount of health and armor that she shells out is nuts.
Because it racks up very quickly. Her entire team will have that armor, and she doesn't like. You think, oh, use it during the fight, so she has the added speed and she's keeping her team up. But no. Just they use it beforehand to get that boost. They go into the next team fight. She builds up her ult during that team fight, and her team will lose some of that armor, but they still have the added 150 health that keeps them from dying during that team fight. So they are most likely going to win it unless they get like a diva bomb that wipes out the team.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of nerfs, Tracer's getting a nerf too.
Yeah.
Her pulse bomb.
I don't think the pulse bomb is that big had Brigitte not come in, because the nerf in the damage was something that was kind of needed. It was way too easy to get a team wipe with it. And when it shouldn't do that much.
Right.
Yeah. But it still can easily pick off a squishy. You can still mow down like half of a tank's health. And if they're already pretty low, you can just take them out with it. So it's still a very good ult. Had Brigitte not come in, where she gives the added armor, which makes it harder, even if it sticks for her to gain that kill. And it's so easy to take off because Brigitte has a one-shot combo thing where I believe it's shield bash, one hit, and then the rocket flail, which does 150 damage.
Oh, I've had my fair share of those. They're not fun.
It's so bad. Like Tracer needed a nerf, but the added hero was like a double nerf to her. I still feel like she's gonna be played in certain situations. She's not gonna become a like no pick, but she's not as powerful as she was before.
No. I think there's just gonna have to be, with Tracer's nerf, there's gonna have to be more coordination. She's gonna be kind of more of like Widowmaker. When somebody plays Tracer, the team's gonna have to play around her ult now.
Yeah,
a little bit more.
Because like what's still good is that it still does quite a bit of damage, takes out pretty much any squishy. It can be used, I guess, to help like burst down a Brigitte who has ulted, so she doesn't have that extra armor.
Yeah, you just gotta sneak behind her when
Yeah.
you do that.
There's a lot of things you can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because her shield does the same thing that Reinhardt's does. Like, it can stop a diva bomb from killing her. It can stop a pulse bomb from killing her.
and if she drops her shield, like it can drop, and she just has to back up
It's
a bit.
just a little smaller.
But the openings, her shield's pretty small. Like any McCree can just like flashbang her slightly to the side, and she will drop the shield for a second while she's stunned. So I feel like McCree's probably gonna be pretty good with that. Like the change in meta is just crazy.
I really think this is where agilities can shine, though, with the new meta, because Pharah really counters Brigitte if you know how to play Pharah really well.
Yeah, because Brigitte can do nothing against Pharah. She has no non-range attack. She is melee, close range, snipe mid with her rocket flail. But it's kind of snow, so even if she uses it, she can't always hit the Pharah.
Yeah, she has to get super close to the Pharah if she wants to even try to get that flail off. But the closer you get to the Pharah,
it's easier to get the direct shots.
The more dangerous it's going to be for you.
The boops are going to be needed. Like, it's boop meta right now.
Yes, it really is.
One good thing I've seen is that Anna's back in meta. She's played a lot more now. The burst healing she does, and she's very good with a Reinhardt. So her comeback is partially because of Brigitte's like change going on. Like it's so interesting how one hero has completely changed everything. I feel like that's how it should be, but it shouldn't be this drastic.
Yeah. Okay, here's a question for you. Have you fought against the nano boosted Brigitte?
Yes, and I still cry at night.
Yeah, it gives me nightmares. It's crazy how much Anna's changing the game now. Because now with after the whole Mercy nerf, there's a sudden opportunity for all these healers to come in, and they have been. And now I think, even though Mercy is still she's still a pretty powerful pick, you're able to kind of substitute in Anna for her now. Like, Anna and Moira, that's a lot of healing.
Yeah, like Mercy's still very powerful with her res, but she isn't a must pick anymore, which is nice. But Brigitte's kind of become that must pick. If the enemy has one, you need one yourself.
Especially in competitive.
Which is like, that's something that nobody wants. Nobody wants a must pick. That's the reason there was that big issue with Mercy, is because she was a must pick at one point.
Yeah.
And she was that must pick for so long because Blizzard just didn't know how to nerf her correctly. They'd nerf her, she wouldn't be as powerful, but she'd still be the must pick until they took off the instant res. And now she's back to being a high pick, but not a must pick.
Which is what all characters should be.
Yeah, they have to do something about it, like the change in her shield bash, because on PTR right now, I believe it hasn't yet to be implemented. Her shield bash hitbox has been reduced by 33%. That it's both to help the enemy and help the Brigitte herself. That way, she's more accurate on who she uses her shield bash against, and the enemy can evade it more easily. Before, it was like a bit bigger than her shield, so it was like the hitbox was kind of, I guess,
it's a little wonky.
It was a little deceiving, and it was harder to evade it because you didn't realize just how big it was.
Because as the enemy, you would think that she was dashing to somebody next to you, but it hits you.
Yeah.
So it throws you completely off guard.
And it works because maybe she's going for the Tracer, and she ends up getting the Roadhog by mistake. So Roadhog has a pretty big hitbox, and so it helps her be more accurate and helps the players evade her. It's good. There's also the nerf to her Rani. Instead of 150, it's 100 health added, but it's armor health. And armor health has that reduced damage take. I can't remember the exact stats, and I know there's like no easy place to find it, like besides like digging through Reddit. But there was a percentage of damage that is like, some damage is cut in half, and depending on how much damage done, I believe it's like under 5 damage, you only do half as much damage. And then above that, it's like 5 damage is taken away. So something that does 150 damage only does 145, something like that. It's not, those aren't the exact stats. I just can't find how much it actually does at the moment.
It sounds pretty accurate to me.
But that's pretty much how it is, which is why stuff like Moira is very bad against a diva who has her armor, because she has nothing to do the burst damage, and her biotic grasp, right? That's what it's called. her thing that sucks out health.
Yes.
It does very little damage. So over time, it does quite a bit, but at the moment, it does little, which is why she has a hard time against a diva that has armor. Having 150 armor, it's crazy.
It makes the game so difficult.
And when you have heroes that have a shield in front of it, like a Zen, the shield is what's depleted first instead of the armor. So you can do like 150 damage to him, but he will still have that armor, and he just has to like run back, get healed up, or like stick out of the fight for 2 seconds so his shield replenishes itself by itself. And then he still has that armor, and he still has like 400 health.
It completely changes. Like, her healing completely changes the game. Like, no matter who she heals. Like, her ability to heal can be like the thing that shifts the whole entire game.
Because she has a very good amount of burst healing with her E. It's on a cooldown at least, but it's so much.
It's honestly, I don't think it's a long enough cooldown.
It's crazy. Brigitta's crazy, and she's doing so much.
Yeah, and it's pretty frustrating for DPS, but hopefully she'll get I'm hoping for a longer cooldown.
It'd be nice to have a longer cooldown on her shield bash. Her E doesn't, maybe slightly longer, but it's kind of good where it's at. But it's like Brigitta is just completely changed things, so she's basically an off tank. Even though she doesn't completely fill that role, she kind of works in it.
Yeah, she does. She's like meant to be with the tanks.
Yeah. I'm very, very scared to play competitive.
Also, speaking of changes, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard rumors that Moira would actually be getting a buff.
I don't remember.
Like, rumors that her biotic grasp, it would turn into the way Symmetra works with her left click. Like, it would slowly become more powerful.
I haven't heard about that, but if it is, I'm kind of scared. Like, she doesn't have the hard knock that Sim had. She has a soft knock, but it's still kind of hard to get away from it at times.
Yeah, her beam is pretty long.
I feel like she's fine where she's at. I don't feel like Moira should be changed. At first, I felt like she should have a bit of a nerf, but where she's at now, it's fine. Perfectly fine.
Yeah, especially with Brigitta in the game.
Yeah. I'm interested about the Symmetra nerfs. Not nerfs, rework.
Her changes sound amazing. Finally, she's being put into the defense category as where she should have been all along.
Because the first rework made her a lot of fun to play, and she was played more. But with all the other changes that went on, she just fell off again.
Yes.
And I feel like this is way too long of a wait, because she wasn't played at all in Overwatch League. She has, I think, 1 second played because Muma didn't switch off her quickly enough when he was joking around in spawn.
Yeah.
That's like the 1 second she's been played.
Exactly. And then Tor was only pulled out with the Outlaws. I think Jake picked him.
Yeah, we've seen an attack Torb before we've seen Symmetra. Come on, guys. Come on.
Get your priorities straight.
Like, it's very interesting. A lot of changes are being made with her. She does not have a photon barrier, which is that barrier that would continuously walk forward.
Yes.
That was very fun to use. I remember my friends would be like, hey, quick, shoot a shield up there. And I'd shoot a shield through a hallway, and he'd like run through it on Genji, pull out his blade, and just like mow through them. And he'd use the shield to get past all the spam that's being shot through the corridor. And like that's what I really liked about it. But seeing that it's being changed to an ultimate with an indefinitely long and high shield at 5,000 health. It's like, whoa.
It's like 2.5 Reinhardt shields.
Like, that shield can take on 5 Diva ults at close range. Because at close range, she does 1,000 health damage. What the?
That's gonna change the sniper game too.
Yeah, because you can't just be like spam the shield so I can get a pick on the back. Because like I always hit my friend who's a Widow main. He's always like spam the shield, and they'll spam the shield. They mow it down, and he can get picks off. You can't do that against 5,000 health.
No, I really. That's the one thing I'm nervous about. Symmetra is like, just Widow mains not being able to help their team anymore.
But at the same time, I don't feel like she's gonna be a must pick, so that shield won't always be there. It's also very interesting to see that her ability is going to be changed. Like her teleporter is changed from a ultimate to a cooldown ability, where she can.
It's her E button, I think.
I believe it's her E, and her turrets will be her shift. And what's really cool is like she can set a teleporter up to 25 feet in front of her, 25 feet around onto that. So she can put something.
Oh, she can shoot the teleporter.
Yeah, she shoots the teleporter.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
So she could shoot one up into the high ground in an area that like maybe only Widowmakers can get to. And when she does that, the teleporter opening will appear in front of her instead of in spawn.
Oh my gosh.
So she could shoot her teleporter behind enemy nines, like right behind them, right in front of her. People completely walk through it and just pop up behind them. Stuff like that can happen.
Oh my, that's gonna keep you on your toes for...
It's
oh no.
I don't believe they released how long the teleporter will be up, but it looks like it has like indefinite like teleports until it's destroyed or it runs out of like time. Like, you know, maybe it's up for 10 seconds and 20 people can go through it in those 10 seconds. That's how it's sounding right now. Both the entrance and the exit can be attacked, and I believe it has 90 health. Now I'm doubting myself. You can exit how you normally do, except you can place it up to 25 meters away instead of right in front of you, and the entrance will be in front of you. And then it's the health has been lowered, but to 300 health. So it's like a it's a slightly buff squishy. I'm guessing that it has shield health because that's how much the that's what the teleporter had originally.
Right.
So while you can't heal it, it'll heal itself over time if you don't kill it right away. Both the entrance and the exit you can damage them. So yeah.
Oh boy, that's gonna be interesting.
And there's been a big change to her turrets. Instead of her just like placing them on a wall and having to be a certain like, she can't be too far away from the wall or she can't place them and stuff like that. She shoots them out like a projectile.
I'm so excited for that part. I'm just gonna shoot turrets all over the map.
That's really fun because places where I couldn't put turrets before, which would be awesome places to put them without having like a May boost me or something. Yeah, I can put them there, and
you can get super sneaky with them too.
From what I've read, you cannot shoot the projectile to destroy them. You can only destroy them once they've attached to the wall. And once they attach to the wall, it's like how Sim would have normally attacked them. Okay. They do more damage now, and they snow you down more.
Oh no!
But the trade-off is that she can only put up 3, and she can only stack up to 3.
Oh, okay.
So instead of the 6, it's the 3.
Well, that sounds really balanced then. You just gotta.
So, yeah.
You just gotta be mindful of where those little suckers are.
Yeah. It's gonna be pretty interesting, all the changes she's going through, especially being finally moved to defense.
Yes.
Because I guess she was a support if you use her shield gen. But that's pretty much it. And like originally, what's funny is I saw this one person was like, why doesn't she do this instead? Like that's what she originally did. What they were saying is that she should instead be able to like give people shields. That was her original E ability.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that
before
was
she had a
so
phone.
long ago.
Yeah, you'd have to constantly tap people and like, you get a shield, you get a shield, you get a shield. That was her original ability. Like, guys are asking her to go back to Sim, to the first Sim,
What?
when she wasn't being played at all.
This
Like,
is
come
unheard
on, guys.
of.
I guess it's been so long that people forgot that's what actually happened.
Yeah, or they're just new and they're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
she's so broken.
Like, also a change to her gun. Instead of it being a hard knock, which racks up damage, she's gonna get something similar to Zarya's beam.
Oh.
But it would still rack up damage if it's continuously hitting someone.
Okay.
Which would so instead of her being able to like knock onto a squishy, it ranks up to level 3 and she can just like flip it onto the next squishy and mow them down in less than a second.
Okay.
She has to actually have like decent tracking.
Okay, good. It's not just like, oh, I'll turn this way and it'll automatically lock on.
Cause like I love playing Symmetra.
Mm-hmm. She's super fun.
She's so much fun to play, and I used to like I believe last season I had 100% win rate on her because I only played her on 2 games, I think. Yeah, but I want to be able to play her and not have people be like, don't play her, play this instead. Nobody likes a one trick. I'm like, I'm not a one trick.
I know
I'm doing. I have more hours on every other hero except for Symmetra and Comp right now. I'm still kind of iffy about her ult. I'm not sure exactly how helpful it's gonna be.
I'm with you on that one.
Because on certain maps that have like a really hard choke, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, so it kind of forces the enemy to go through.
Yeah, they force them onto their side, and it forces them through the choke.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you said that the ult was up for a certain amount of time?
By the looks of it, yeah, the ult is a temporary thing.
Oh, okay.
That's what I understood from the article I read when they released some of the information about it.
Then that makes it seem more balanced than just having it stay there.
Because if it was just there forever, that'd take forever. and Sim wouldn't be able to rack up her next ult, unlike Brigitte.
Cough, cough, nerf, please.
And let's see. Another change coming into competitive is that there is a new map. We got Rialto.
I haven't had a chance to play on that map yet. I'm getting every other one, but it looks really pretty.
Yeah, I've only gotten to play it during the the retribution event. So and it looked pretty cool there, and I've seen the like fly through that they've done, and it's pretty interesting the changes they've done. I'm gonna be excited to see that in comp.
Oh, for sure.
It's a really pretty map. It's different, and I love when new maps are added because it adds something to it. It just adds enough flavor, something different.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it because when you're in the stadium and you're sitting in like the first couple of rows and the screen actually like wraps around you. So when it loads or when the game loads and it shows the background of the map, it's like you're actually in the game. So I'm excited to see what that's going to be like with Rialto. You're like, I'm in Italy.
But I feel like those are all the changes that are coming to comp.
Do you think Hanzo's going to get picked more?
Oh yeah, the Hanzo changes. I've seen his pick rate definitely go up.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, from the people I've watched, I've seen a lot of Hanzo. The change from Scatter Arrow to that rapid fire, what's it called? Storm Arrow, was it?
I believe so. Don't quote me on that. I know Overwatch.
Don't quote
I promise. I'm a good Overwatch player.
I don't play Hanzo, so I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not Hanzo, man.
So it's definitely better because I always hated getting scattered because you just aim at the ground at their feet and you die and like no.
I keep forgetting that Hanzo got a rework. So when I hear the new ability go off, I'm like, what is it? Or if I'm facing off against a Hanzo, I'm like, why haven't I died yet? I should be dead right now. Why? Why am I still alive? I got away? What?
And his new his new ability to leap forward is very good with like now he can, if he sees things are going bad, he can just leap right out, or he can use that to get to certain places on the high ground he couldn't get to before.
Uh-huh.
So
I've seen him avoid a Lucio boop with using that ability.
yeah, so it's something he needed because while he did have the climb, which is very good for his verticality, he had no horizontal movements. It was all vertical. He doesn't even have double jump like Genji does or anything.
No.
So
Does he still have that climb ability?
he still has climb.
Okay.
Yeah. The ninjas still can climb the walls. And these should all be in for the next stage of Overwatch 2. Like kind of scary. I'm hoping the nerfs come in beforehand.
Yeah, same.
Please. But I know that the league uses like I believe 2 patches behind. Just in case there are any bugs.
Yeah.
So anything that's an issue is already known.
And then it's taken care of for the next stage.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. This is episode 4 of Voicing Valiant. We had our special guest, Ray, here today.
Thanks, guys.
Chad usually does the social media plugs. I'm trying to think of them off the top of my head and find them. Wait, no, I found them. Aha! So if you want to follow Valiant, they are at Valiant on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Reddit, Discord. I believe you type that in for your server invite and you'll get right in. And also on Snapchat. Did I do that right? Did I make Chad proud?
I think you did. I think you nailed it.
And you can follow Voicing Valiant on Voicing Valiant on Twitter. If you want to have your topic on to VV Talk, you can either send us in the idea on Discord or on Twitter using the hashtag VV Talk. And I believe that's it. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Welcome to podcasting where we forget what English is.
I just started rambling. I'm like, oh, I don't know where I'm going with that one.
Hey, you should check out like all the edits my brother does and like how many ramblings we cut up on. Like, wait a second, no, what's English? My brother actually my brother does the editing for the podcast for the listeners who don't know, and he keeps telling me like one of these days I'm going to knip every time you guys tell me to edit something out and just make a combination of that.
Perfect. Done.
That's podcasting.
I'm sure he already has it ready to go then.
Maybe.
He's like, I'm ready.
Yeah.